watching Apprentice podcast video or podcast, however you're listening or hearing this. We're doing another tier list on all the canon material. Not really material, no books, because my friend here has not read almost any of the books. He's watched all the movies, right?
Yeah.
All the movies, almost all the shows, and he's played a couple of the games. So we're going to be doing a tier list on that today. How do you want to rank these? I was thinking more of two things. Quality of the movie, if it was good, or, it sucked. And then three things, I guess. B, of its importance.
Yeah.
If it's important to a storyline, if it meant a lot. And then C, it made sense. It concurs with the rest of the franchise.
Okay. I like that.
Right?
Yep.
The bottom tier, order character, I don't know, man, because I think a lot of the characters from the sequel trilogy had great potential.
Well, yeah. I think everyone in the whole series had great potential.
So I don't want to poop on any of them,
I want to poop on someone, though, because we can't not poop on anyone, right? We gotta find someone.
You want to know what is a poorly written thing?
Go.
The lightsabers that spin and make you fly in the Rebel series.
Wait, shoot, that exists?
And,
wait,
yeah,
I thought that was a meme.
No, only the Inquisitors could do it because they had special lightsabers, but that's a thing.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Put the bottom list, flying lightsabers, okay?
That is stupid. I can't believe someone unironically thought that was a good idea. Because you can just... The whole point of a lightsaber is it cuts through literally everything. So let's make something that both cuts through something and pushes something.
I know.
Like, what the fuck? Alright, we can get rid of one.
We can get rid of one tier. We don't need 6.
Yeah. Cool. George Lucas, what's a another good one?
When a movie does good in box office, what's that called? What do you put in?
Ewan McGregor? Is that how you spell him? I don't know what you call that.
Okay, B. We could put B as... I don't know.
Bench?
B is C-3PO. Everyone likes C-3PO, but everyone also gets annoyed by him. He's just there sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He just participates. Who's D? Below average. BB-8.
Yeah. Yeah.
90. BB-90.
Yeah, sure. BB-9.
No, 90. BB-8 contributed to the freaking plot, and BB-90 was just there.
Okay, first one, we got Rogue One.
Rogue One.
I think most people liked Rogue One. I'm not, most people, big Star Wars fans are huge advocates for this one. I'm not a huge advocate, but out of all the stuff that came out of Disney, I think Rogue One is the best one or second best one.
Yeah, it's between that and Solo Story, right?
Most people don't like Solo, but I'm rewatching it with, my fiance Grace, because we're going through the Star Wars movies, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love both of them.
I think we'd have to put Solo Story a bit lower, just because it really didn't contribute, and that's one of our criteria.
True. We'll get to that when we get to that. Rogue One, in my opinion, it wasn't that important. It wasn't that needed, because, we didn't really need to know what happened, a week before the events of A New Hope. You know what I mean?
That was literally explained in the opening credits.
What's that?
That was, explained in the opening little words that are coming down on the screen.
It was a good movie, so, I think it goes high on that. Needed-wise, it wasn't really needed, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, Star Wars, how it makes sense, follows the franchise, it's good. So I'd put it between C-3PO or Ian McGregor. I think it goes Ian McGregor just because, I don't know, man. It's a good stuff. Just because, it's one of the best Disney movies it's put out.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
it did contribute a lot.
So, what's this one?
Okay, I'm
A New Hope?
not a huge fan of the OT. I do love them because, it's the OT, but in my opinion, New Hope, not my favorite out of all of them. Return of the Jedi is by far my favorite.
Yeah.
New Hope.
I felt like it was kind of slow, which, I mean, to an extent it kind of had to be, but...
I honestly, I'd rather watch Rogue One than A New Hope. Actually, I don't even know. How do you feel?
A New Hope contributed to the plot 10 times more than Rogue One. It was, I mean, just by that alone, the actual trilogies would probably go higher than most other ones. I think...
I completely agree. I just don't think it goes in George Lucas.
I don't think it goes in George Lucas either. I think I'm putting it Ewan McGregor, but I think this is going to be the one to put behind Rogue One.
That's what I was thinking. I don't want to put it too low because it is the first Star Wars movie of all time. So it does, just out of respect, it needs to be high, but...
Now that I think about it, it's going to be hard to put something in BB-9E. To put something in...
There's plenty of stuff.
Okay.
We'll get down that road.
Okay.
Is that Empire Strike Back?
Looks like it. The one with Yoda died, I think, in this one.
No, he died in...
Oh, wait, shoot. He died in the next one. This is the one with the AT-ATs, the Boba Fett.
This brought so much to the franchise that we still use today. AT-ATs, Boba
The
Fett,
Mandalorian armor
Yoda.
was introduced here. Mandalorian just in general, right?
It brought everything. I think Empire deserves to go in George Lucas.
Yeah, I think it's our first George Lucas film.
And I think Return of the Jedi is either second or third my favorite Star Wars movie. I think it just ends everything on a high note. Like, if we never got the sequels, ending it with Return of the Jedi would have been like an awesome ending, in my opinion.
We put that above. Yeah, I put that above.
Did you agree with both of those?
Yeah.
Okay, flying lightsabers. We're going off the campaign, right?
Yeah, the campaign. It didn't contribute to anything. It's a fun campaign to play. It didn't contribute.
I'm gonna put it at flying lightsabers. I put it at BB-9E.
You sure? What? I really do like how they included Luke Skywalker in that time period. Honestly,
Luke Skywalker. They talked about whatever that thing was, where like they were shooting planets with like lasers as like a backup plan.
Yeah. Darth Maul was included in... No, that was Kylo Ren. I'm stupid. I was looking at the screen.
I don't know. I think
it just wasn't important, which is the only reason it gets low. But it was well written, in my opinion.
It didn't add too much. You know what? Yeah, I put it in flying lightsabers, I guess. It'd be high flying lightsabers, but it's... I don't know.
It's high flying lightsabers.
Yeah. Okay.
Mando. I think it goes C-3PO.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know.
Well
I
written.
know everyone loves Mandalorian. I don't really like the first season. I love the second season because what they did with Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, and Luke Skywalker.
Oh yeah, they really tied it into the actual movies.
That blew my mind, made me love it, maybe can't wait for the next season. But that first season, bro, I can't watch it more than twice. It
is too slow.
It's slow. It didn't really add a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, you could have just... It could have been a home movie that someone just recorded on random movies and just brought it around with them and never affected the actual plots.
I think it belongs. The second season, though.
Second season,
really good.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the second season, I'd actually probably put in BB-9E, but that second season makes it fire. And that second season preparing for the third season, I think that makes it high C-3PO because it just makes it, I can't wait for the next.
Yeah. And then now you got Grogu, which you can play into the plot, and you got Ahsoka that they're making a whole new series.
They added Ahsoka in live action. Oh,
yeah.
That season is so good. So good.
Oh. Alright, okay. Which one's this one? The Force Awakens.
I actually like this movie.
Yeah, that was where they...
sequels in general, but Force Awakens... I like all the sequels, that's the best one in my opinion. I don't know, I think it belongs pretty high.
This is about where I was considering it, maybe one of these two?
No, bottom of Ewan McGregor. Bottom. It does not belong in front of A New Hope.
A New Hope, yeah.
But it is good, because just like at the end of that movie, we were left wondering, like, I actually can't wait to see what happens next, kind of a feeling,
Yeah.
Because they hadn't put everything on Rey yet. So, like, it wasn't like, oh, Rey's overpowered for no reason. It wasn't like that yet.
Yeah.
They weren't just adding characters for no reason. Like, it made sense what they were doing. And, like,
this movie...
It was cool to see Kylo. It was cool to see new characters. It was a good movie.
After this movie, it could have gone in a million different directions.
Exactly. Why it was a good movie, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. All right. The Last Jedi.
Oosh. Mixed feelings. This one has probably the best scene.
Which one's
that fighting scene at the end where Kylo and Rey team up?
Yep.
That's a badass scene. That's probably the best scene out of all the sequels. But not the best movie out of the sequels.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think it belongs underneath Mandalorian because besides Grumpy Luke, it actually wasn't that bad of a movie.
Yeah. It had again. This one could have gone off to a couple other different things that would have made it a good trilogy. Looking back on it, but I mean, they kind of started. There was two things wrong with it, in my opinion. The whole Luke thing, making him an asshole, didn't like that. They changed that. It makes the movie already a lot better. And then the other thing that big problem is, they started with the whole Rey thing becoming like powerful, even though she hasn't really any Jedi training. Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure this is the one where she stops the ship mid-flight, like mid taking off.
Yeah, she pulls it. She just starts pulling it as it's flying away with Chewbacca.
Right, and you're telling me Luke, who's a Skywalker, so she's more powerful, he's more powerful, could have lived an X-Wing?
Yeah.
She can just stop a ship without any training?
Without any training, but like she hardly even recognized her powers at that moment.
Yeah, so I don't know. Those two things, they changed those two things, it actually becomes a pretty good movie.
Yeah. All right. Everyone's favorite movie, The Force Awakens. Not The Force Awakens. The Rise of the Skywalker.
This one's probably the worst.
Yeah.
I don't think it belongs in Flying Lightsabers because it did add a lot and it was needed, but they did not.
I don't like how they ended up the series, and that's really why everyone doesn't like the sequels. This movie is the reason people don't like the sequels.
They could have, they had to change pretty much the whole movie to make this better. There's so many things. Like, where did the Sith troopers come from? You tell me he just built an army out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Why did they have Palpatine? He was dead.
Yeah,
Why did no one
exactly.
was alive on a planet?
And then all of a sudden...
Why did Rey force you all of a sudden?
Mm-hmm. And Palpatine all of a sudden has more powers than he showed in all the movies combined. In the first three and the second three.
He just starts zapping everything in the sky all of a sudden?
He charges all of the planet killers in one zap,
Yeah, no. I'm not a huge... I don't think it's Flying Lightsabers because it was needed. That movie was desperately needed.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi was not bad, but it definitely needed something to help fix it up, and this movie was needed, but it did not. It
didn't turn out the way it needed to be.
Yeah.
I'm going BB-9E.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Phantom Menace.
Oof.
Just kidding.
I love it because it adds some of the best characters in Star Wars.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon, one of my most favorite Jedi of all time, top 3 probably.
Yeah.
Darth Maul. We see Darth Maul in 4 different franchises. We see him in Clone Wars. We see him in what's called Solo. We see him in Rebels. But we see him a bunch of other times. And so I think that is a very important movie, but it was pretty slow.
My question is it above... I think it's right below A New Hope, honestly.
I almost want to put it high C-3PO, because, I don't know, man. It was good Star Wars material, but, it wasn't a very good movie. It didn't even... who's the main character of that movie? Tell me.
Yeah. It was more of a... Because the first 6 movies were showing Anakin's rise and Darth Vader's fall.
Right, but they didn't even show Anakin for the first...
Yeah. It took him a while to get to him, which I kind of like, I like the way that they didn't make him completely the main character out of all that, but still. Yeah. I think it was a great episode 1, honestly.
Yeah.
High 3.
You want to put it above Force Awakens? I honestly think Force Awakens is a little bit better.
Okay, I can go with that. Go high
agree
3.
with that though?
Go high 3PO. Force Awakens. Which one was that one again? That was before. Yeah, that was that was the 7th movie. I like that one. Yeah.
You like it better than that one?
I watched If I've watched one movie more than any others, I've watched The Phantom Menace the most. Maybe Revenge of the Sith second most, but I just really I've watched that one a million times, and I just love the little nitty gritty parts of it. If I were doing a tier list, I'd put it right here. But I can see how anyone else would put it right here, and I don't disagree with that at all. This is just personal bias. Me putting it right there. My reasoning is personal bias. That's it.
All right.
But like plot contribution and writing and all that, I see completely here. Makes complete sense.
All right.
Attack of the Clones.
It's also a really fun movie, but it's got like that last battle scenario, awesome. Dooku, awesome. Add some of the best characters in Star Wars as we know it, as the freaking clones.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it at George Lucas. I would put it like mid Ewan McGregor.
Below Rogue One.
I'd put it below New Hope, to be honest.
Below New Hope.
Yeah, you agree with that?
Yeah.
It adds so many good characters. It starts getting spicy. We start seeing the fall of Anakin finally.
Mm-hmm.
It just pieces together a lot of holes we see in the original trilogy. Like, the things we envisioned when we watched the first original trilogy. Like, this is how I thought Anakin was. We start seeing that actual play out in real time in, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. Clone Wars.
First couple seasons of Clone Wars, in my opinion, not very good. Too childish, in my opinion. I mean, that was expected.
Yeah, that was the intention
The
of it.
last, 3 or 4 seasons of Clone Wars, oh my. That makes me want to put in George Lucas.
Yeah.
Especially the last 2 seasons are I watch them all the time.
Yeah.
I still watch Clone Wars. I've seen the Clone Wars probably.
I've seen that series 2 times.
I've probably seen more. I've probably seen Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones more than Clone Wars, but Clone Wars is awesome, bro.
Oh yeah. I think I have no problem putting Clone Wars up here. The writing was amazing. They added something with every episode. Of course, they did just go out on a little tangent for random episodes to make their own little plot, but that's expected whenever you make a 7-season TV show. They really went in depth with how long that Anakin and Obi-Wan were fighting, Grievous, Dooku, Ventress, everyone. They just really added a couple characters.
I mean, everyone heard about the Clone Wars and A New Hope, and we all had envisioned them. We played Legos, and we made up a story in our mind.
And they showed the imperfections of the Jedi, the Jedi Council, which I just loved, just to make it so. Oh, they're the heroes, but that doesn't mean they're perfect.
The Clone Wars and the prequels are by far my favorite era of Star Wars. So
I agree.
I'm always biased towards them. I'm trying to be unbiased. That's why I ranked Phantom Menace so low. But all the prequels, in my personal mind, are all George Lucas, including the Clone Wars. But I'm trying to be unbiased, and with that being said, I still think Clone Wars is high because every Star Wars fan, unless you're you were born in the 70s and you watched the trilogy and you're stuck up on that, you're a diehard. Every good Star Wars fan who who is tried not to be unbiased about anything, they love the Clone Wars. It just added so many characters. It like you said, expanded on so many characters. Pretty much everything you said, it did the right way.
And I like it wasn't even like the fight scenes. I don't think that they skimped up on any little section, because you wouldn't expect a kids show to have such good fight scenes, but it really did. And it had good character development too. It had
it was
just
a kids show.
everything.
That's why if it wasn't those first 2 seasons, in my opinion, because the first 2 seasons were really childish. They wouldn't, but later on, they weren't childish. Maul cuts off a bunch of civilians' heads, and it shows it.
Yeah.
That's not childish, and it wasn't childish anymore. It was the Clone Wars, which was animated.
Mm-hmm.
But if those first 2 seasons weren't, very childish, and Yoda joking around, and funny joke kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I would put it on the top of George Lucas, but I don't know. I think it belongs to the bottom of George Lucas. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, I definitely do. All right.
All right.
Darth Maul, son of Dathams.
I'm gonna do a thing because I realize we're missing one thing in here. The Clone Wars movie. Remember that?
No.
There's a Clone Wars movie where Anakin and Ahsoka have to save Jabba the Hutt's kid.
That was a movie? I swear that was an episode.
now.
Wait, if you're watching it in Disney Plus, does that show up like an hour episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's what starts the Clone Wars. That happened.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that first episode's an hour long. I know. Yeah.
So we're missing that. You want to just pretend that's what that is?
Yeah.
That's a novel. That's not a novel. That's a graphic novel right there. I don't know why there's one graphic novel because there's plenty of other ones that are canon. So it's just substitute as that's the Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars movie, yeah.
So with that being said, I put that pretty high up. It's not as good as the Clone Wars series because that, like I said, those last 2 or 3 seasons of Clone Wars. This was before that. This was like when those first 2 seasons came out. It was childish, but it added. It set up the Clone Wars. It brought Ahsoka. It brought Asajj Ventress. You know, it did bring us some seriousness with fighting and everything. So I put it high C-3PO or Ewan McGregor. I
was gonna put it here.
Okay, I'm okay with either one. Whatever you think is fit.
Have you seen the movie? I liked. Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I think it goes right below Force Awakens, just because it's hard to put it over any trilogy movie. Frankly, the Phantom Menace, putting it above that kind of hurts me, but it makes sense.
Like I said, I'm trying to be unbiased. I think the Phantom Menace. I know people think it's a boring movie. I know people don't actually really like that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is pod racing.
Revenge of the Sith. I think it belongs to the very top. I know everyone expects that. That's what everyone's opinion is, but it just does. It's just a masterpiece of a film. It's just so good. Even when I listen to the soundtrack on my Spotify from the soundtrack for that movie, I cry. When I watch the movie, I cry. When I think about the movie, I cry. It's just a good movie.
Yeah, isn't it like a 2.5-hour movie too? That didn't feel like a long movie at all. You watch that and you feel like that you just watched a regular movie, and that was, I'm pretty sure, almost a 2.5. I'm gonna check how long that is real quick.
It is a pretty long movie, but it's the best one in my opinion. I love Return of the Jedi, but Revenge of the Sith is just.
Oh yeah, and it had like amazing. It just all around was an amazing movie. I mean, there's nothing to say that wasn't just amazing about it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It had nominated for 1 Oscar. Wow, never mind. I was looking at something on it. I still can't find the runtime.
All right.
It was 2 hours 20 minutes. Not as long as I thought it was. Bad Batch.
Good stuff, bro. That's it. I don't think anyone can really argue with that. I think maybe some OTs would be like, the OT is the best, but like unbiased reviews, Revenge of the Sith is just so good. If you would put all of these up there and you compare, Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi are definitely 2, but I just give Revenge of the Sith. This is our opinion. I'm trying to be an unbiased opinion, but
yeah. What's our criteria again? Because it's like contributes to the plot.
Contributes to the plot. It was needed, and was it a good movie? I think it was a good movie.
I think it passes all those with good marks. Like it was needed definitely because
it was it was between right before 4. We want to know how did he fall to Darth Vader? We want to know what happened to Sidious. How did Palpatine become the Emperor? We want to know what happened to Obi-Wan. We want to know what happened to Luke. And it did everything so well. It was such a connecting thing. It didn't mess with any of the other canon. It didn't contradict anything. It was a good movie. It had romance. It even had a couple comedy scenes. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was intense. It was everything you would want.
Oh, yeah. All right. Bad Batch.
That first episode of Bad Batch is a banger, bro.
Yeah, I think...
that hour episode, a good episode. There's a couple other ones. The Rex episode, just because I had Rex, I love. The Cad Bane episode with Fennec Shan, pretty good. But that being said, I think it was kind of boring.
I think it's a good movie. Like, the Clone Wars originally started trying to be a kid's movie. I think the Bad Batch kind of went back to that a little bit. It definitely contributed to the plot. It definitely was it didn't. I don't actually think it really contributed to the plot much. It was definitely a Star Wars canon thing. You watch that and you're like, yeah, this totally makes sense. But I feel like it was kind of directed to kids, and I don't have a problem with that, but I'm going to rank it a bit lower because of that.
Yeah, can I be honest?
Yeah.
I would put the Clone Wars movie between Mandalorian and The Last Jedi.
Do it. Shoot.
It brought the characters, but it didn't really expound on them.
Yeah.
And, like, if we hadn't gotten the Clone Wars, I would actually consider that movie pretty shit.
That's true. That would have been right above flying lightsabers, if anything else.
Right.
Like, you just see one random animated movie, and it's where Anakin and they gotta save Jabba the Hutt's child, and you're just like, what is this for? Why? What? Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just really childish too, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like it wasn't better than Phantom Menace or The Mandalorian. Because The Mandalorian Season 1 was iffy. It brought some cool things. But Mandalorian Season 2 is like if Mandalorian Season 2 was like Mandalorian, like if it was both seasons for like Season 2, it would be probably almost George Lucas.
Yeah, it would be up in the Ewan McGregor if probably around the Rogue One, yeah.
And with that being said, I don't know how I could put Bad Batch Season 1 over Mandalorian Season 2.
I don't think I would, honestly.
But Mandalorian Season 1 was way worse than Bad Batch Season 1, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not way worse, but I think Bad Batch Season 1 was better than Season 1 of Mandalorian. But Season 2 is way better than Bad Batch Season 1. You know what I mean?
I think for that reason we put Bad Batch right in front of Mandalorian.
Just right in front of it?
Right in front of it. Because, I mean, if you're looking at this tier list, I would put them on top of each other if I could. About tied, but...
Honestly, is that what you think?
Oh, wait, shoot, no. Mandalorian ahead because they brought out the Darksabers, which they're going to be expanding on like crazy in the future.
There were so many good episodes in Season 2.
Yeah.
Like, almost all of Season 2 was just bangers. There was like one filler episode, maybe.
Yeah, you watch the two shows, and Bad Batch was pretty well made. Mandalorian Season 1 was iffy. Mandalorian Season 2 was extremely well made. Bad Batch didn't really contribute to the plot. Mandalorian Season 2 contributed like crazy to the plot.
Season 1 of Mandalorian wasn't bad. It was just like, it was pretty good actually. Because like, we had just gotten over, The Rise of Skywalker. And we were like, oh my gosh, anything's better than this. The Mandalorian came out and everyone was like, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't bad. But Season 2 was just so much better that it makes Season 1 look bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Season 1 is almost on par with Bad Batch Season 1.
I agree. Alright. This puppy. What is it?
I don't know, man. Have you ever played that game? Basically, I don't know, man. It's kind of just like a middle of the line thing. I'd almost put it in BB9E. But like,
did it contribute to the plot much?
Not really. It gave some new characters. It brought in Darth Vader, so that was pretty cool. I don't know. I think it belongs in BB9E or Final Lightsabers. Just because, like, it doesn't really compare to the movies or anything.
Yeah.
That's what it's being compared to. I know for a game, it was pretty groundbreaking for actually having so much canon. But we're comparing it to these movies and these shows, and it doesn't really compare.
Yeah, video games against shows, I'm sorry, but the plot line of the video... Maybe it's more fun to play it like this, but...
It definitely is a fun game. Both of those are fun games. And for a show and a movie, it actually brought a lot. But, like... Not for a show. For a video game, it brought a lot. But for, like... Compared to a show and a movie, it didn't bring shit.
Yeah. Above or below Rise of Skywalker?
I'd put it below Skywalker.
Cool. Solo.
I love Solo, man. I'm watching third right now.
I personally think... I genuinely love the movie a lot. I think it goes behind either Force Awakens or behind Attack of the Clones and Ewan McGregor. I can't put it that high just because it doesn't contribute anything. Other than that, you know what? No. I'd honestly say it's above A New Hope. It's a good movie. It is overall good. They did good acting. They did good just everything all around. It just didn't contribute to the plot is the only reason I don't think we can put it in George Lucas. If you got it.
I agree. I think we should put it... I just can't put it too high up, though, man. I'd probably put it above the Force Awakens.
Above Force Awakens?
But not... I don't know. Attack of the Clones was way better.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and then they added like another villain that they just ended up not using at all because, well, they just wanted it for one movie. The only thing that this did add to the plot was Maul. Very end,
It did add them all back, and then
but they
I don't
didn't
know.
really do anything with him. They just
It
said,
did
"Oh
give
yeah, I'm
much
alive."
backstory. It was cool to see. I don't even know, man, because like in the grand scheme of things, it didn't really add too much.
Yeah. I don't know. Phantom Menace is considered by many to be a slow movie. I think it goes above. I don't know why I just brought Phantom Menace into this. I can't tell if I should put it in front of or behind Force Awakens.
I think we should leave it.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
All right, Rebels. Never watched it. What's your opinions?
I actually like Rebels. The last 2 seasons is like not season 7 of Clone Wars, but like kind of like season 6 or season 5. It's pretty good, man. It brings Maul back. It lets Thrawn. Thrawn is like it's pretty much a Grand Moff Tarkin. He's just a really evil general guy, and it's pretty cool. Brings in Darth Vader. Brings in Ahsoka. First season really slow, really childish, kind of like Clone Wars. Those last 2.5 seasons are pretty awesome. Not gonna lie.
Now, how many seasons did this have? 5?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Cool. So, based on just what I'm hearing, you can't really put it in front of too many movies, but
I at least put it in front of Bad Batch.
yeah, that's what I was hearing. I don't know about Mandalorian. Yeah, man. Oh my gosh, that character is my favorite. I love how
I
they
put
did
it in
it.
front of Mando just because like it's completed and we know what happens and it's cool because like Ahsoka is going based off of that show and it does bring a lot in. We see the end of Maul in that show. We see some pretty cool things in there. We see Rex back in there. It's pretty cool, man. So do you agree with the rest of this list?
I agree with this list. I mean, my personal biases would move this around a good bit, but it wouldn't be that much, honestly.
I'm doing this as like a Star Wars point of view, like.
Oh yeah, I'm doing this as a Star Wars point of view too.
I know this is our opinions, but like this is just how I see Star Wars as like contributed importance movie wise. Video games, I'm sorry, they just have to be at the bottom. They just can't contribute.
Yeah.
Too much. Just impossible.
I mean, because not everyone's gonna play the video game. So if you put some like really really good lore in there, people are gonna get pretty pissed off.
And the shows, most of the shows are pretty low. Same thing. They just can't add the same thing a movie does, but the show, like, season 7 is pretty good.
Yeah. I think the only thing I think might be a bit different, Rogue One a little bit lower and Phantom Menace a little bit higher, but it wouldn't be moving more than one movie.
Yeah, you know what? I would switch Rogue One and A New Hope.
Yeah.
And I would put Attack of the Clones in front of it, too.
Yeah, Rogue One by all means was a great movie, which is why it's in Ewan McGregor, which is just above average. Not above average. Above average for a Star Wars movie, which is a very high bar.
Right. I agree with that. I don't think it's better than A New Hope or Revenge or Attack of the Clones. But I do think it's better than Phantom Menace. Like, it's faster paced. It brings the same amount of characters. Like, we see Saw Gerrera, we see some, it brings back Darth Vader. It brings back some really cool scenes.
Yeah, especially, and I love how it leaves off at like the exact scene that Phantom Menace starts. Not Phantom Menace.
A New Hope.
A New Hope starts. I love how that exact scene, like you could merge those two together, and if A New Hope wasn't so old, it would look like one movie.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, think it looks good?
Yes, sir. I think if anyone thinks differently, that they're Hitler.
No, it's just our opinion, obviously. I think this is pretty fire, though. All right, we'll see you next episode.
Yes, sir.
Bye.